forever, actually.
We can
Every
use some
time on his
podcasting
podcast
lessons
when he's a
too.
guest now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, credit where credit is due. Just leave my name in the description and we'll call it even, and you can keep that one.
Whenever I do talk about any topic, I'll just be like, now this topic needs no introduction, and I just won't talk about the topic.
Yeah, just silence for a good 30 seconds to a minute. Yeah, that's the trademark patent.
Well,
No, it's super. It's super good to have you here. Charlie looks like he was about to say something.
I was. I want to talk immediately about shitty movies because you recently covered a movie that's on my to watch list now, which is the Anti-Masker movie.
Oh, man.
So I guess this will be a fun segue. Do you want to talk a little about the Anti-Masker movie, and then I'd like to talk about a shitty one that I'd recommend to you?
I want to talk about this movie too. I've been dying.
Yeah,
I'm fucking
absolutely.
gritting my desk. I'm going to snap it in half with my iron grip waiting to talk about this fucking movie.
I know, man. Me too.
Yeah, dude, I was like, I got so many like messages to like make a video about that movie. So I was like, that was the fastest I ever like scripted one because I didn't want anybody else to do it like before me. So I was like, I watched the movie like 3 times in one day to like do the script, and I was like, probably top 5 like worst days of my life because it was like so. I don't know. It was just so like there's a certain point of like I think obviously everybody knows like a bad movie is like fun at a certain point because it's so bad. But like there were so many times at that part like with that movie where it was like I was so fucking bored because like literally nothing was happening, and it was like straight up the movie was like if you're in like a high school like religion class and you have like you just break off and like make and just like talk about God. Like that was the movie. It was just conversations of people and then like weird montages of shit.
Is it like that Kevin Sorbo movie that was called like God Is Not Dead or something?
I think it's more closely related to like Kirk Cameron Saves Christmas with the Help of Jesus Christ or whatever that
That's
series
a
is.
classic. Yeah, Kirk Cameron Saves Christmas is a movie where on the surface you think it's going to be really entertaining and fun to watch, and then I don't know, like a third of the way in, it just becomes miserable.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, and also there is that whole thing with the director who is like he was like 23 when he started dating his like 14-year-old girlfriend and shit. So it was like it was a whole
Christian.
thing to it.
Whoa boy.
Jesus
I
Christ.
don't think masks are the most of his problem. So what is the movie called?
It's called 2025: The World Enslaved by a Virus.
2025.
They're really subtle about the point they're making.
Yeah, it was
It's a little ahead of the times.
It
they
unironically
just-
sounds like an anime title. It sounds very descriptive about what happens.
I'm waiting for the anime remake, but
So it's more like George Orwell's 1984, obviously, right? Very subtle.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's got all the social commentary and subtle wit and charm and
Yeah.
oh yeah.
yeah,
I assume it
1984
starts
AD.
just like 1984 with the 2 minutes of hate where they all scream slurs at Jesus at the beginning because Christianity's outlawed.
Yeah, that was the weird part about that movie. It's like it was like COVID. It was about how COVID, like they were bummed that they like can't go to restaurants anymore and stuff. But like it was like about COVID, but also in the midst of like COVID, somehow Christianity became illegal. Only Christianity though, like every other religion is fine.
Let's follow the train of thought. God gave
Islam is
everyone
fine?
COVID, obviously. So yeah, we need to ban
Right.
Christianity to stop COVID. It makes sense to some degree.
Yeah,
Do
True,
they
I guess.
explicitly say that all the other religions are fine? Are there like Muslims
Actually, that's a
dabbing
good-
on the
that's a good-
Christians?
that's actually a good point. But I think it was, but in the synopsis, it just mentions Christianity. Because I mean, obviously, because that's
That's a
all they
bold
really
choice
care about.
because from what I remember, it was like Jewish synagogues that had like the cops busting the doors down to arrest a bunch of Jews.
right.
Is that
That's great. That was in New
yeah,
York,
it's
I
like
think.
it's the whole movie is just like just like it's the white Christian people just trying to be oppressed, so they make a movie about it. I guess.
well, it was a real
Are-
passion project. That's what matters.
Are there any known
Absolutely.
actors in it, or is it just completely unknown people? Any names attached to it?
Well, no. The director is a YouTuber.
Oh,
He's like a German Christian YouTuber. So it's like this is absolutely a Passion of the Christ project. Passion project.
Yeah, I mean, it looked fucking awful. I can't believe you watched it 3 times. That's dedication. Surely after the first time, you know what to write about. Like, why did it take 3 times?
Well, I mean, like, when I make the videos about movies and stuff, I watch it once, like, just to watch it. And then, like, the second time, I'll, like, go through and write what I, like, the key points that I want to talk about. And then, like, the third pass, I'll, like, actually script, like, alongside it. So it's like I mean, I'm sure there's, like, an easier way to do it, but I'm also just, like, it takes me a long time to do stuff. So that's probably why.
That's fair.
Anyway,
Anyway,
it's a great time. It's a great time. You should definitely watch it. It's free. It's on Amazon Prime, and you can watch it.
Oh, I definitely plan on watching it. It seems like the exact kind of movie I like to watch. Not 3 times, but maybe once, and probably be done with it
once
forever.
or twice, yeah.
On like 2 times speed.
Yeah. So then, now I'd like to recommend something to you. You mentioned you were bored the second or third viewing. What if I told you there's a movie so shitty that you could probably watch it upwards of 10 times and still have fun?
Wow, that would be great.
it is a magnum opus of just shit upon shit. Oh man.
It's called Moonfall, baby.
Oh, title drop, name drop. That's
Moonfall.
huge.
Moonfall. I've never even heard of this.
Yeah,
What?
I was in the same boat before my third eye opened.
It's not even small. It's not. It's by Roland Emmerich.
Yeah, and it's big budget.
I've straight up never heard of this movie.
What?
I guess don't spoil it too
How am I
much.
the only one that's heard of it?
If it's like that good that everybody should watch it, no, I'm just saying try not to spoil it too much, I guess.
No,
Is it like
fuck
a
it.
spoiler?
It's not
The spoilers are the best part of this movie.
They
Kaya.
are.
There's-
spoil it.
Okay, hang on. There's
Then you shouldn't ruin it for the audience.
There's a lot that
And
you
Curtis.
can spoil, and it's okay, like generic disaster movie, like, oh, and then this guy died and whatever. But there is a twist that I don't know if we want to spoil it, because that fucking melted me in my seat when that happened. I had to cover my mouth so I didn't, like, laugh through the entire theater full of people.
I mean, you could spoil it if you want.
See,
I mean,
he gave us permission.
All right, if you
it's
out there
fine.
listening and you're gonna watch this movie, this is your spoiler warning, because there
It's
are
probably such a good twist that you'll still be surprised even when you see
no
it.
no one could ever see this twist coming.
Yeah,
Just
I'll just
me.
think
10
that you're
minutes
lying.
ahead, I guess.
Yeah, but
you
this is
care
your
a lot.
spoiler warning. Anyway.
All right, so Curtis, this movie is in theaters currently, so if you don't have plans for the rest of the day, allow me to sell you on this movie. I'll do the marketing for it. Moonfall is a Roland Emmerich film. Roland Emmerich made like Day After Tomorrow, 2012. His whole career is pretty much just
Independence Day.
Yeah, pretty much stinker after stinker, except for Independence Day. And he made Moonfall, which, and keep in mind, this is the guy who recently said Marvel movies are destroying what cinema is really about. And his new movie, Moonfall.
Wait, that was Roland?
I thought
no,
that
that
was
wasn't
I
Roland.
thought that
It
was
was Steven
Scorsese.
Spielberg.
Nope. Roland Emmerich,
Yeah, there
right
was-
when this movie dropped, had an article come out where he said Marvel movies are destroying the cinema that I love. There's no decent films
Good.
being made.
Wow.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
apparently
Maybe he
said-
meant. Maybe he meant like Marvel's like extorting specific small cinemas. Maybe that's what he meant.
He was
No,
asking
saying-
how many superhero movies can you make?
Yeah.
It turns
More
out a lot.
disaster movie.
His exact quote was, "They're ruining the industry a little bit because nobody does anything original anymore. When nearly every movie he makes is big disaster happens."
Well, okay, please don't fucking pigeonhole this man into one genre after Moonfall.
Oh, true.
So, Moonfall is about the moon falling out of its normal orbit and
What the fuck?
hurtling towards
course.
Earth. And
Damn.
it's all
What, does
about...
God just turn off gravity or something? It just drops?
Oh, you'd be
Oh,
surprised.
the reason it happens is shocking and exciting.
Yeah,
man.
this is a Darman level twist. So the moon is out of trajectory, and the only one who notices in the beginning is a conspiracy theorist who runs a blog and believes in megastructures. And he breaks the news to the world through an anonymous Twitter post that in the first 2 hours goes turbo viral. and the whole world begins to panic that they now know the moon is crashing towards the Earth based off of one anonymous source on Twitter.
So megastructures is a real conspiracy theory about people who believe like the other planets or the moon or the sun are giant constructions or vehicles or what have you built by aliens.
That's cool.
And they're like giant like cars that run off of dead suns and shit. And this is a real conspiracy theory. There are people in real life who believe this.
Fuck.
I believe it. Right off the bat. All I need.
So fucking what's his name? The fat guy from Game of Thrones. Like, what's his name in Game of Thrones? Fucking Edward
There were
Tully.
so many fat people in there.
Anyway,
Tully.
Tully,
Yeah,
it's Sam Tully, right? Whatever. So
Samuel.
Tully fucking shows up and he's this big conspiracy theorist who believes in this shit, and he's sitting in his room and he's like crunching these numbers and he's thinking this over and he's like, oh, the moon might be falling out of orbit. This is crazy. So he's not sure what to do and he's having this real conflict, and he's sitting in his fucking office and he looks at a poster for SpaceX and he says, what would Elon do?
What? He actually says Elon?
He says it twice in the movie. He says, what would Elon
Fuck
do?
off.
Yeah.
Seriously?
No way.
No, seriously.
No way.
Fucking seriously. So then, while he's having this quandary over what to do with his life and this new world-changing knowledge, his cat named Fuzz Aldrin pisses on some newspaper on the floor. So he picks up the newspaper covered in cat piss and he sees that an astronaut is going to be speaking in his town. And he goes, oh, that's it. You're a genius. So the plot moves forward because he read a piece of paper with cat piss on it.
And also thought like Elon would think. So he goes to this astronaut day conference to impersonate an astronaut, and he's lecturing these kids about how the aliens are flying planets, like in the Invader Zim episode with like rockets on the moon. So he's going over this theory, and then the astronaut comes in, he throws the data at him. Long story short, it's all confirmed. The dude's a fucking genius. The moon is truly coming towards the Earth. And then it's this boss battle against the moon where everything's just going wrong. Every possible shit decision that could be made gets made. For example, like eventually the gravity's getting fucked up, so the waves are just turning into giant pillars of water. And
that's cool.
There's a scene where these people are trying to escape, and they get on a helicopter, and it's like, okay, they're definitely going to escape because now they can just get away from the water because the water's not moving. The water is stationary. It's just being lifted by the moon.
It's just being pulled towards the moon.
Yeah. So the water's just sitting there, and they're in this helicopter, and instead of flying away from the water, the dude kamikazes into the water pillar, killing the entire...
Well, that's the safest place to be, really, in the middle of the eye of the hurricane.
So
Killing
that,
go in there.
That
Killing
scene
the
happens.
entire team of advanced analysts that were the ones responsible for calculating all of the data.
That
needed
scene
the data in
happens.
the water column.
That scene happens after one of my favorite scenes in the movie, one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie. So they're setting up this last-minute spaceship launch. There's like all these setup scenes, like they have to go get a decommissioned space shuttle and like bring this astronaut out of retirement because everything's so fucked and everything's all scattered because the moon's fucking things up. So they cobble together this mission last minute. And they're setting everything up, and they're like, hey, director of NASA and astronaut guy, we have a problem. One of our 3 rockets won't fire. It's broken. It just will not fire. It's not going to work. So they're like, well, what is
coolant?
Yeah, it's leaking coolant. It's not going to fly like this. So they go, well, what do we do? And he goes, well, unfortunately, we can't get to the moon with just 2 engines. It's not enough propulsion. We can't steer properly. It's not going to happen. We can't do this. So they're like, all right, we have to cancel the flight. So keep in mind, this is at a moment where there is no other hope for humanity. This mission has to happen or everyone on Earth will die. So what do? The commander of NASA gets on a bullhorn and goes, I want to thank everyone for coming here. The mission is canceled. You can go home. She does not explain why. She does not offer options or solutions. She just tells everyone to go home. So everyone goes home. Literally jump cut, smash cut to every single person at the base leaving. Gone. Immediately gone. Meanwhile, in one of the research labs, these 2 dudes are running calculations and they go, hey, so we reran the numbers, and it turns out because the moon is getting closer, we can use its gravity to slingshot the shuttle to the surface. We don't need as much thrust because the moon is helping us now. We can do the launch. We can do it. We don't need the third engine. And the director of NASA's like, okay, we better hurry the fuck up and start this shuttle. And the whole time I'm thinking, everyone left only like 15 minutes ago. You can't just call them back and like get an actual launch going. But nope, they have to cobble together a ragtag team of like 5 people, which means the conspiracy theorist is one of the people who they have to launch into space.
Oh my god.
They sent Elon Musk to space.
Actually, this is where the
Elon
second.
Stan.
This is where the second thank you, Elon, comes from.
Yep.
Because I think when they were, and I could be wrong, you'll have to correct me, Andrew. When they were recalculating the numbers.
Oh, I remember, yeah.
The guy, his name's KC, which is the Game of Thrones guy. KC's like, I did this again. Thank you, Elon, because he was like basing it off SpaceX or some shit.
So it's they're talking about SpaceX and like engines and propulsion, and they're going over the details of the mission, and he interrupts with, "I love Elon."
Yeah, it was something like
Yeah.
that.
What the hell?
Oh, this movie
Why-
is so
why?
good.
Is
That's so
Roland
cringe.
like buddies with Elon or something?
I think
Like, why is
I think he just really wants to suck on his wiener a little bit. Like, I love you, Elon. Thanks for the Dogecoin boost or something. I don't really know.
So when they get to
Following the
space,
nutsack, yeah.
when they get to space is another one of my favorite scenes. So throughout the movie, there is blatant product placement. It is blatant. There's ads for sodas and
maybe Musk paid for it then. Maybe Musk paid for
it's like Transformers, where like every car is a Chevrolet and they put the logo right in your fucking face. So fucking in this movie, there's blatant advertising from 2 companies. One of them we'll talk about in a bit, but the other one is Kaspersky, the antivirus.
What?
So
Are there viruses on the moon?
Kaspersky has like blatant product placement. The antivirus software no one uses. So Kaspersky has literally, there's a scene where they're showing a destroyed city. There is a giant neon green billboard that just says the words Kaspersky. It doesn't say what they do. It's not advertising. It's just the word Kaspersky on a downtown LA billboard. But anyway, they launch into space. So it's main tough guy, like Ethan Hawke ripoff actor, the director of NASA, and Game of Thrones conspiracy theory guy. Those are the only 3 people they can get on this mission. They're currently in space on the space shuttle, and they have to have conspiracy theorist dock the space shuttle to a different like space station so they can like get supplies and do this like Land Rover mission. So they dock it, and he's on the computer and he's typing in like, okay, lock the airlock and line up the thrusters and doing this. And as he's doing that, the screen says Kaspersky secured. Meaning the NASA space shuttle uses Kaspersky to secure to other space shuttles.
It does everything now.
Bag secured.
It's so fucking funny. And it's on screen for like 30 uninterrupted seconds.
Yeah, he's just clicking Kaspersky prompts while he's trying to dock.
It's so good.
It's really...
Charlie, do you want to take away what happens next?
Yeah, it's just so we don't spend too much time on it. I could literally talk for hours about this movie. We haven't even touched on anything.
Sounds so good.
There's
We haven't
so
even
much.
touched on most of the Earth-dwelling things. But just to get to the spoiler part. So eventually it is confirmed that the thing that was causing the anomaly that pushed the moon out of orbit were nanobots from a sentient AI from deep-dwelling space. And they found our moon, which is actually a Dyson sphere megastructure, confirming the conspiracy theorist theory. And the white dwarf is being sapped by the nanobots. And once we get to the moon, Patrick Wilson, who's like the main character, he gets abducted by the aliens on the moon. And they give a brief overview of what exactly the moon is. And they tell the story that humans were actually, billions of years ago, humans conquered the universe. They were spacefaring galactic citizens who were so advanced.
Damn right.
Yep, they eventually created an AI that overthrew them, drove them to extinction, and their last-ditch effort was putting their DNA and all of their technology into these giant moon-like structures, these Dyson spheres, and tossing them out across the universe to, like, hospitable solar systems. But the AI found them, and the only one that survived was the moon. So eventually they did find the moon, and that's what caused all of this. And then Brian his name's Brian in the movie. He gets special powers as a result of being beamed with all this energy from aliens.
Yeah.
This is literally Halo 4,
And
by the way.
this comes the fuck out of nowhere.
Absolutely
by the
out
way.
of nowhere.
Just
Wait. So if the moon is like controlled by an AI, or there's an AI hunting humans or whatever, Kaspersky could have literally saved the day if it was actually good. They just needed a really good antivirus to stop this.
Well, we didn't
programming.
even talk about the best product placement. This is probably my favorite part of the entire
the Lexus
movie.
Kind of slapped,
So Lexus has like the most integrated product placement of a movie I've ever seen. One of the main characters is the manager of a Lexus dealership, and his introduction is he's on the phone talking to the main character, and it starts by showing the Lexus logo and then slow panning over the entire dealership until it gets to him talking. So later on in the movie, this is the Earth part. This is the people like trying to survive all the fucking apocalypse and pandemic shit. So they're running away from some bad dudes who are chasing them because they have oxygen canisters. And they're like in military Humvees, and they're being shot at, and it's like an exciting action chase. The main group in front being chased is driving in a Lexus SUV, and like it's very Lexus, and they show the Lexus logos and all that
They
shit.
drifted around the corners.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be
And
like this cool montage of Lexus.
And it's somehow outrunning military Humvees on like incredibly treacherous, rocky, mountainous, snowy roads. But the best part, the absolute best part of the whole movie is they're outrunning it. And I think the son is Walter Jr. from Breaking Bad. Was I right about that?
I didn't look it up. I don't think you're right about it, though.
So the son, the astronaut's son, who's trying to survive on Earth, is driving the Lexus, and he's like smashing the steering wheel, and he's like, we need more speed. We have to go faster. We have to outrun them. So the Lexus dealer, who's sitting next to him, goes, well, wait till I shift it to warp speed. And there's a close-up. There is a close-up of his hand grabbing a dial in the car and changing it from comfort to sport mode.
So cool.
It's so great.
Holy shit.
Why was
so
it in
good.
comfort mode during a car chase?
Yeah, true.
You needed to preserve the fuel.
It's all about the fuel economy, Kaya. You wouldn't if you would just watch the movie, you would know all about Lexus.
All the fuel
It's
stations
so
are blowing
funny.
up from the moon. He's got to conserve that tank. I get
Oh
it.
my god, it is one of the funniest movies I've ever. There's a subplot with a general who stops a nuclear launch, and his reasoning is, I trust my wife.
Oh yeah, no, you're
man.
underselling it. It's when
Why
they
were they
finally
going to nuke the moon?
Yeah, so they were gonna nuke the moon, but for some reason, instead of waiting, or instead of doing it like right away when they knew it was falling and it was far enough away where the nuclear detonations wouldn't kill everyone, they waited till it was literally destroying their base. Like, all right, it's time to launch now, where the nukes would guarantee everyone in the world died. And then, so they're about to turn the keys, and this is when his wife is Halle Berry. She's the NASA commander, and they were married. They broke up. And then they're on space fighting the nanobots. And for some reason, inexplicably, before the dude turns the key, he's like, you know what? I trust my ex-wife. And he pulls out a gun, and he's holding them all at gunpoint. He's like, we're going to wait this out. And then all of a sudden, the entire base collapses on itself, and they all die.
Yep.
Wait,
It's
so
so
did you
good.
say it's a
This
Dyson
just sounds like
sphere?
a dream that you.
I know, it honestly felt like a fucking dream, a wet dream. It was perfect in every area it needed to be a beautifully bad movie.
It was a 2.5 hour movie. It felt like 45 minutes.
I wish it didn't end. I was mad when it ended.
Damn.
So
I
you
gotta
said
go
it's
watch.
a-
Even with all the spoilers, I'm definitely gonna go.
Please
see it.
do.
Hang on.
There's
So if
please,
a
so
Dyson,
much.
if it's a Dyson sphere, wouldn't the sun inside like grill the planet?
Don't ask that question, Kai.
What are you talking about, Kai? What do you know about megastructures? Like, what are you, an
Yeah,
expert?
come on, dude.
Also, imagine if it was like actually sponsored by Dyson. The Dyson
It's a giant vacuum.
Just sucks up the earth, yeah.
a real space is
Also,
a
if
vacuum. A Dyson.
so, the
true.
humans originally created the moon. Is that the thing from like
Yeah.
billions of years ago?
Yeah.
Okay, couldn't they have included like a how-to manual that told us?
No,
all this stuff?
Kaya,
Why
don't
did-
ask those questions.
What are you talking about?
Come
You're just
on.
not advanced enough to understand, bro.
Come
like,
on, dude.
What is wrong with you? Well, you're not even
And
Elon
why
Musk,
would-
man.
Why would they be covert about this? Like, hey, this is a civilization saving, like, basically a spaceship, our last resort. It's like Noah's Ark for humans, right? Like, why would you disguise it as a moon? from ourselves.
Because then it's a
Well,
mega
it's basically
structure.
in park. It's again saving fuel. It's just parked around the planet
Yeah.
for when we need it. I assume.
Whatever.
Oh
sure.
God, this
Pretty easy to understand,
this
I think.
movie is an achievement. There is not a single character in the movie that is smart. Every single person in it makes multiple stupid decisions.
Oh my God,
Like
yeah,
you
it's
could
so dumb.
rattle them off on a list and it
dumb.
would be the whole episode of the show. They have an EMP that they bring up to space, and the evil sentient AI like kind of fucks it for a full minute. And the guy is like, "Come on, get closer so you can blow it up."
He's literally
It's
inside of the
right
fucking
next
EMP
to
too.
it. It's
He
literally
keeps
next
asking
to
the
it.
nanobots to get closer while they're penetrating it.
You guys sound insane.
This is a real
Like I know
movie.
the words you're saying, but they don't
I
make sense.
swear to you, Jackson, this is a real movie we
know.
both saw. It's insane.
No, I know. I've been looking forward to this movie for so long.
Wouldn't that like send a signal to the AI now, and like can't it just come back with spaceships and shit and
Yes,
then blow the
so
planet
that's-
up?
That's the best part. We're getting so deep. Like, there's so much more we haven't even talked on. Like, for bad decisions, it turns out the nanobots only go for, like, actual electronics when there's organisms nearby, like human organics. So for some reason, the conspiracy theorist brings his fucking iPhone and starts taking pictures, so
my
then he gets
God.
alerted. But regardless, at the end of the movie, they finally do get this EMP, and what's supposed to be like a climactic self-sacrifice, the conspiracy theorist pops out the back of his ship, fucking scoots in sideways on the EMP, riding that bitch right into the belly of the nanobots. And then he's like, "You shouldn't have underestimated us," as he detonates it and finally killing the nanobots. Into the movie, roll credits, the moon all of a sudden immediately corrects itself, so the whole world is saved instantly. Like, all of the destruction is reverted.
Apart from that base, I assume.
Literally
It
all
corrects
the
itself. How does it go back?
Literally all of the
it flies itself
cataclysmic
back.
fallout and everything involved just starts floating away in the sky. Like it just immediately reverses course.
It literally cleaned up everything. Like, it just sucked up its own debris. Like, all of the dead buildings. Like, "Hey, let me take that." It's like,
Hey, it's a
cleaning
giant
service.
moon. It's got a it's got a self cleaning service. It probably fucking was a Dyson vacuum
Yeah, it
now.
sucked it all up like a Dyson.
Exactly. I was right.
Curtis got it right.
And then at the end of the movie, it has the audacity to set itself up for not only a sequel, but a whole extended universe. So the Game of Thrones guy in the self-sacrifice, at the end of the movie, he comes back and he's talking to the moon AI and he's like, "Am I dead?" And he's like, "Well, we downloaded your consciousness. You are the moon now. And it's time to get to work."
Jesus Christ.
Because the
other-
other,
yeah,
the
so
other
the moon-
nanobots are coming.
So the moon says it's time to get to work, and he says doing what, and then it cuts to credits.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
god.
so brave.
It's
That's
so
brave.
good.
It's so fucking good.
There
man.
is not a single scene of that movie that doesn't provide entertainment. Whether it's someone doing something stupid or saying something confusing or something like blowing up, it is a non-stop entertainment machine.
Yeah, it is so
That's
fucking
incredible. I remember the Roland Emmerich guy, he made Day After Tomorrow, you said?
Yep.
I always remember this fucking scene from that movie when they go out to get like medicine from like a ship or something.
good. Yeah.
And they're running back and they're like being chased by the cold.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And by wolves, don't forget, there was wolves
And
too,
wolves too, yeah. There are wolves at
How
that
did the
part.
wolves survive out there? Like,
Right.
the ice is literally chasing them because it's so cold. Like, it will instantly freeze you
have
if it
fur.
touches you.
I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
I remember watching I
movie's
loved
also
that movie
great.
when I was younger, but
Yeah,
I remember
it's so good.
That scene is just so like, actually they just needed a chase scene. So
Yeah.
like, okay, I guess
But they
cold,
had
the
wolves to chase
temperature.
anyway.
Yeah.
Like, why choose the cold?
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that movie was. I used to love that
Oh,
movie.
it's so good.
I've seen it so many times, and then that chase ends with them like making it back to the library, and they're like, "Quick, get the fire going!" So they toss 2 extra logs, and then all of a sudden the cold is defeated forever.
No, it's not. It's not
no,
that. They
you're
literally
forgetting-
close the doors. They close the
Not
doors,
just
and
logs.
the cold can't get in. They just close the
Oh
door.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. They closed the door. And then when the logs ran out, I think they had like this whole thing. They tried to make a statement or a lesson, I guess, or something, where they were like, "We can't burn
burning
the
books.
books, you
burning
guys."
books, yeah.
Yeah, no.
But there's a librarian
I'd rather the last
character.
remnants of humanity die than burn books. Like, who's gonna read them
Also,
if you're all
I-
dead?
True. Also, I was always like frustrated with that movie because like it seems I don't think they do a good job with like the passage of time because it feels like it's only like really, really cold for like a day, and then it's like, oh well, it's everybody's fine now. But it makes it seem like it's this crazy like world-ending thing, but it happens for like a week, and like Dennis Quaid is like, I'm here now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's meant to be like an ice age, right? It's meant to be like a long amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't I mean, maybe I was because I was a kid, but I was like, it literally seemed like they were just in the library for like a couple days, and then the whole thing just sort of blew over.
Definitely were. They were only there for a couple of days because they didn't have food or stuff, and they needed like the medicine and stuff. So they were definitely low on supplies. And then there was a whole group of people that left the library and they like froze immediately as well. Like they left in exile, but then like later on in the movie, you see their frozen corpses just like right outside the library. It's so oh man, he's such a good director.
Oh yeah.
I love him.
Moonfall is his best work too. I really hope, and this isn't an ideal world, we do get that extended universe of Moonfall.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see those galactic space battles where the moon's fighting off nanobots.
There's so much to talk about. There's the fact that the opening scene has the fucking astronaut called a disgraced hero and totally blacklisted for for the fucking aliens attacking because they blame it on him for no reason.
Yeah, and then, in the beginning of the movie, the nanobots actually attack the ship and kill his friend, and they blame him. They call it negligence, even though there's video footage of the nanobots being there.
There's not only video footage of the fucking thing happening, he's got a helmet cam that recorded the entire thing because they watch it later in the movie. Like... And then there's the blatant big budget movie pandering to China. There's a fucking like scene where a guy's son is learning Chinese and he just throws in random Chinese quips everywhere. For no reason. It's so
really
funny.
Cool? Is there a really cool like Independence Day tier like rousing speech? You know that the president gave at the airbase.
There was no cool speech actually. I was waiting for that because Roland Emmerich is kind of known for those like iconically silly speeches. I don't think there was anything even close to that. The closest thing I could think of was when KC, the Game of Thrones guy, his cat pisses on the newspaper and he's like, "Fuzz Aldrin, you're a genius."
Yeah. Oh my god. It is the perfect movie. It's perfect on all fronts. It's entertaining, it's stupid.
I'm absolutely going to go see it.
It's got fun destruction. It has all of the check marks of like a modern big budget blockbuster, but in a bad way, like product placement and pandering to international markets and plots that make no sense. Oh my god, it's just so
it had
good.
like $120 million budget too, and every goddamn dollar was spent on making it as shitty as possible. It's amazing.
It's an achievement. It's an achievement. It's up there.
Anyway, I think
There
we've
you go,
talked about
Yeah, we can definitely move on now.
I think Curtis is sold.
We brought Curtis on here just to fucking market a movie towards him.
To be fair, man, I wanted to talk about this literally since we watched it, and I think Curtis, you had to reschedule, so you did this to yourself.
That's true. I also gave y'all permission, so
True. If you told
all
us not
good.
to do spoilers, this would have been a 3-minute conversation.
It would have just been
sort of
Charlie and I
dug my own grave.
furbishly screaming "Watch Moonfall" over and over again. Oh, what a movie! Well, I want to talk about a place where you can hire people to film